Today's TLDR is a very special TR. We are doing the 90s kid tag in which we're gonna answer some questions about our lives in the 90s.
Are we from the 90s?
Yeah, we lived through the 90s, so we're from the 90s. We're 90s kids. We were still kids in the 90s. What?
I suppose we were kids in the 90s.
Yes.
You can't really talk about the 80s when you're like, I was 3 years old or something like that, right? I guess you could. My favorite diaper brand was what?
Question number 1, what was our favorite TV show? I know mine.
Favorite TV show?
Yes.
I was a huge Sailor Moon fan, that's for sure. And I like gargoyles.
Okay.
I don't think I can choose between my favorite.
My answer for number 1, my favorite TV show was Inside Stuff. Did you ever watch Inside Stuff?
I don't even know the name of that show.
Yeah, it was a basketball program and it showed you like highlights throughout the week of like the best dunks and it had like interviews with NBA players.
You were a fun kid to hang out with.
And they'd be like,
and my name is Ahmad Rashad.
Ahmad Rashad, I want the Inside Stuff. I freaking loved that show. I would watch it again as an adult. It was so well done.
I'm sorry, was that a kid's show?
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if it was for kids, but I played a lot of basketball growing up.
I was like, Sailor Moon and gargoyles.
Ahmad Rashad, I want the Inside Stuff.
You didn't watch X-Men? Na 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 na.
X-Men, easily.
Okay.
Okay, wait, that's not much basketball. Marvel.
Question number 2. What was your favorite toy? I'm gonna be like, my favorite toy is a basketball.
Problem. I didn't have toys. When I was 7 years old, my brother said, here is a basketball. This is all you're gonna do from now on. And I hero worshiped my brother when I was a kid. So I did everything he told me to do. I played nothing but basketball from then on out. I didn't remember having toys as a kid. Seriously.
Okay, I remember a toy that wasn't necessarily my favorite toy, but it was really fun. Do you remember the Skip It? Just skip it, skip it. Skip it, skip it.
Oh wait!
Skip it,
oh my God! Was that the thing that like went around?
The very best thing of all is there's a counter in this ball. So skip it.
Yeah, no, I remember the neighbors.
I never owned one, but exactly my neighbors had one.
The rich neighbors had one, and I just looked at it like, I'm just gonna play with my ball that doesn't have a counter on it.
Well, you kind of grew up pretty poor, so that explains it all. Skip It wasn't really my favorite toy. I was very much an imagination kid though, so I didn't really.
My favorite toy as a kid was my imagination. Imagination land! I'm the princess today! Speak to me, my friends!
I was usually a unicorn. My name was Uni. I liked playing with the garden and the plants.
You're so endearing.
And the insects. Okay, question number 3. What is your favorite TV commercial?
Martina just ruined that. I was Skip It.
Very best thing of all. There's a counter on this ball.
I spent a lot of time outdoors, to be honest.
Me too.
Don't we sound like outdoorsy children?
Yeah.
We're like, I play basketball in
That's my
Imagination
favorite
Land.
commercials. The only commercial I can remember as a kid is they think I eat too many chocolate bars.
People think that I eat too many chocolate bars or that I don't wash my face.
Oh, it's a Canadian one.
There's a Canadian one.
Acne, that's
for
right.
Acne, right. And I had terrible acne as a kid also, so it really spoke to me. That's it, Dad. Okay.
I remember my favorite TV commercial.
Okay, let's hear it.
I can put my arm back on.
You can't.
I can put my arm back on. You can't. So play safe.
It was
We
a
lived a
robot.
life of terror.
It was a robot. It was flying around in like a factory, and then she jumps through, and there's a buzzsaw, and it chops off her arm, and you're like, oh my God!
Because we say that for Martina every time like she dislocates her shoulder, she wakes up like,
And she relocates it, and I'm like, I
what do you
can
mean
put my arm.
she? Stop speaking about yourself in third person.
I was talking about the robot in the commercial.
Oh, I'm talking about you, about how you always like pop your
Was it
joints
for
back in the morning.
It was a War Amp commercial, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was about play safe. What's with all the play safe commercials? I just remembered them all. Don't put it in your mouth, play safe. I was very scared apparently.
Don't you put it in your mouth,
This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
This is your brain on drugs.
This is what your family goes through. And your friends and your money.
And now there's a commercial. This is your brain on drugs. You could be the mayor of Toronto. Oh!
Next question is NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Pass.
Really?
Tribe Called Quest or De La Soul was a question I had growing up as a kid, and definitely Tribe Called Quest. I know some people are gonna say De La Soul had a better discography overall, but nothing beats Midnight Marauders or Low End Theory.
What about Hanson?
Oh God, the magazines. Oh God.
I liked Hanson.
White people music. I don't know.
I went to the concerts at Canada's Wonderland, even though I liked heavy metal. Secret shame! But
Not
seriously,
secret anymore.
Hanson and the Backstreet Boys, that's who I would pick.
Question number 5, what is the weirdest fashion trend that we did? I know for me, it's definitely one pant leg rolled up.
Oh,
So
no.
I actually
We
had
had
like,
different upbringings, didn't we?
I in fact had like a fake pimp walk that I used to do around
Did
the school.
you?
Yes, I'm gonna show you the fake
How
pimp
can
walk.
you show them the
I used
fake
to do-
pimp?
This is how I used to walk.
Okay.
Your left knee has to bend a lot more when you walk. The pimp walk.
I also recall seeing pictures of you wearing visors, like upside down.
Visors.
You did have cornrows as well at some point. Yep, that just came out there.
Oh, it burns in embarrassment. Oh.
If only your friends knew that you were reviewing K-pop. The shame.
None of them have seen my channel, I'm sure. I know some of your old friends have emailed you, but nobody that I...
Or they saw it and then they were like they will never speak of this, and they just closed it. Okay, weirdest trend for me, I did not like how guys used to take their bangs and then they would part them off to the side. Do you remember that? You would have like almost a shaved head and then you would have just bangs and then they would just part them like this.
Right.
You don't remember that?
You look so terrible.
And they were like really long.
Fix them again. That's really, really bad. Question number 6, favorite collectibles.
I used to collect a baseball book. It was like when the Blue Jays were really, really big.
Right.
Do you remember the Blue Jay songs?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Let's play ball. Even nerdier than that, I actually collected Marvel cards.
Where are they now?
I don't know, but I bet you they're worth like $1 bajillion. But I had like the full set. Like inside my mall, the Pickering Town Center, they had like a little island in the middle which you could buy sports cards, and they also sold like little decks of Marvel cards.
Really?
And like Sabretooth and Wolverine and all that. And I remember I had the complete set, and I would use that to like draw because I wanted to be, I know my name is Simon. I like to draw drawings. Yes, I drew drawings of X-Men. Okay, shut up.
I did not know the stage of your life.
Really?
How have you not shared this with me?
No, I used to draw because my brother's first wife, she used to draw a lot, and she taught me about smudging. So like you would draw with pencil and then you'd smudge a bit to make shadows. Like, holy crap, this is cool. And I used to like draw and smudge everything. There you go. And I had a Marvel collector. You didn't know that part about my life.
I had baseball cards and I would go to the convenience store and I didn't get an allowance. Everyone's like, with my allowance, I had like a job.
I had a job too.
And
throwing newspapers at people's doors.
I babysat and I cleared driveways, and then when I got into grade 8, I worked at the deli at Dominion, slicing meat, and then I sliced off my finger and had to go to the hospital and have it reattached. That's another story though.
Question number 7, favorite game console and game. This is gonna be tough for me because there are some games that really defined my life. Like when it came to PlayStation 1, the first game I got for that was Final Fantasy VII, and that's what really got me into JRPGs.
Is that with Sephiroth?
Sephiroth, yes, Sephiroth and Cloud. Because I only got into that after I broke my ankle and I wasn't allowed to play basketball for 4 weeks. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I might as well start playing this game. And I played it like 100 hours. I got a ranch full of gold chocobos. I got every single materia mastered. I was like totally into the game. And from then on, that's when I got into RPGs. But also it was like NBA Live 98 was the game that I played with my friends. And Glenn Rice, he had like 103 pointers. He could do fadeaway 3-pointers. I never lost.
I didn't have a game console growing up. I was a very outdoorsy child.
My imagination?
My imagination was.
Ran outside and I used it.
But my neighbor, David Lee and Christine Lee, they had game systems, and I used to play Sonic the Hedgehog with David, and we used to play Zelda, and you never played Zelda, but I played Zelda, and I remember us getting on our bikes and like biking up the streets to try to get the game code because we heard that there was a cheat that our friend had in those magazines you could buy, those like cheat codes. Why are you holding your heart like you're about to die?
I just actually remember one of the saddest memories of my life when you were talking about this.
Do you want to share it with the audience?
When I was young, my neighbor a few houses down from me, her name was Michelle, and downstairs she had the Nintendo Power Pad that you used to like run on.
Oh yeah.
Like that.
The Nintendo Power Pad puts you in total control.
And I remember like going to her house and like we would play all the time, and like I was sure that like at like 7 years old I fell in love with her and I was supposed to marry her or something along those lines. And then one day they just moved away, and it wasn't a goodbye. She was just like gone forever, and I just remember that as a kid, and I was really devastated. And luckily my neighbor at the time, Roman, was like, here, I will teach you how to play chess, and he had the accent like this, and that's what I just remember because of the Power Pad.
I'll kill you. I'll find you in your sleep and I'll kill you. Mine. Can't have him back.
Well, I also thought I was gonna marry Paula Abdul when I was a kid. Okay, so that doesn't
Straight up now, tell me, do you really want to love me forever?
Oh my God, Duck Hunt. Natalie Way. Pew 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 pew.
Question number 8, favorite music artist. I already mentioned it. Tribe Called Quest for me was definitely canonical. Or D'Angelo.
Oh, yes.
Yes, D'Angelo. No. Before D'Angelo, Jodeci is what really taught me about lovemaking.
Just been forced.
Every time I close my eyes, I wake up feeling so horny.
I can't believe that's a real song.
I can get you out of my mind. Sexy, you be all I need. I will do anything.
Okay, you just sexied me off the chair.
Sorry.
I liked Smashing Pumpkins. I liked Smashing Pumpkins. Saw them live in concert many times. And the very first tape that I ever bought was No Doubt. The Spiderwebs album, what's it called? Oh my God, Something Garden. It has a cover with her holding the orange like this. And that was when I was blown away by ska for the first time. And then I went into Goldfinger, and then I went through that whole. The next question is favorite Nick Jr. show, and I don't even know what that means because I think this is American bias.
American.
So we're gonna go for either YTV or like Nickelodeon, that kind of
The
thing.
only show that I remember from YTV was, I think this was on YTV, Reboot.
Oh, I loved Reboot.
Which was freaking amazing.
Oh my
like
gosh.
the graphics, even to this day, they withstand the test of time.
To mend and defend.
Better computer animation that's ever been seen ever before.
And the names were so nerdy. Do you remember Hexadecimal and what was the bad guy's name with the big jaw? It's all based off of virus names, remember?
Virotron.
There was no Virotron.
Megabyte.
Megabyte.
Was that it?
Yeah, his name was
made that
Megabyte.
up.
I liked So You're Afraid of the Dark, or Are You Afraid of the Dark? They used to stand around a campfire and it would be like, doo, 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 and they would tell stories. Okay, favorite candy.
Easy for me, Skittles. I remember when my sister worked at like a drugstore, she had a discount of like 50% off candy. So I went in there once with like 18 bucks and I bought 36 packs of Skittles and I ate them all in one sitting. I just like opened up all the bags and I dumped them on my bed and I just like evacuated, and I took a bunch of Skittles.
I threw them up.
I take 2 Skittles and you mush them together to make Skittle pancakes. And that's how I almost got diabetes.
I didn't eat candy. There was no candy in my house.
I ate fruit that I got from the trees outside with my imaginary friends. Nature's candy.
We didn't have any fruit trees. We had a crabapple tree, which I'm pretty sure is poisonous. Okay, favorite game. It can be like a board game or like a school game, or it could be a basketball
I'm
game.
going to go for basketball,
For
which I
300?
played for like 3 hours a day as a kid. So yes, basketball.
What did I play? I had a lot of imaginative games that I played. Like, stand in the line and see if you can run on its longest. And you can only turn on these certain points of area. And I used to be a unicorn. And I played in the pool a lot. And I did a lot of things that were imaginative.
I think that you've understood a lot more about Martina today than you ever had in any of our videos. Next question is favorite book, and I'm gonna say pass because I didn't read at all as a kid. And I remember my teachers being like, why don't you read? I'm like, I'm playing basketball, I have no time for reading.
Yes, I almost failed straight out of school. No, I don't want to talk about this. I liked reading Michael Crichton. I read a lot of Jurassic Park and Sphere and Congo, and I did book reports on them because I liked reading a lot. I skipped English class by taking summer school because it was too easy for me, so I skipped a grade.
Even though I pretend to be a dummy, I actually skipped a grade also when I was younger. I skipped grade 3.
You skipped a grade. I didn't skip a grade. I just took English in summer school and high school because I was too bored.
I skipped an entire grade because I was so smart, but then I realized I didn't have any friends, so I pretended to be dumb. And then I just stopped reading.
And then he just pretended to be dumb. You know what book I actually really liked? I started reading The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I don't remember when the first one came out, but my Baka bought it for me for my birthday one year because I was really into fantasy novels at the time. I read like Terry Brooks and everything. And then I caught up to the novels. So like she'd buy them for me and then I'd catch up to it and I'd have to wait. And I remember distinctly in like the end of high school or like university, another book being released and me being like, holy like I'm so far behind. And then Robert Jordan died. That sucked. So I don't
We should talk about this for another 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm done.
So that's it for this week's TLDR. We usually wind up looking over some of the comments from before, but I don't feel like this is really relevant to Korea itself. So I think we're gonna save the comment discussion for next TLDR.
Yeah.
We had some really good ones about blood types last week.
So what I want to know from you guys in the comment section below is, are you a 90s kid? Are you an 80s kid? Are you a 70s kid?
Or were you just born last year and have you just started watching our videos? In which case, goo goo gaga.
In which case, we are good, positive, influential role models on you who teach you about Jodeci and the bad words of the songs that they sing.
What must I say? What must I do to show how much I think about freaking you? Every freaking night and every freaking day,
Real song.
I wanna freak you, baby, in every freaking way.